Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brittany. Today I wanted to show you guys a bunch of ideas for chocolate garnishes that you can use to put on finished cakes or desserts. All of the ideas and techniques are super simple. Anybody can make them, but they really add to the final look of your dessert. Before we get started on making the chocolate decorations, a quick reminder on working with chocolate. If you plan to use couverture, you will need to temper it. If you don't want to mess with tempering, you can use a chocolate compound. That means the chocolate is stabilized for you and all you have to do is melt it. You want to melt it in plastic or silicone very slowly for about 20 to 30 seconds until it's smooth. Today I'll be using Van Leer Dark Chocolate Snaps. So today I will be showing you 5 different techniques to create these chocolate decorations. If you're excited to see what they are, give this video a like. And we'll start with technique number 1, which is using a cookie cutter. For this, you will spread a thin layer of melted chocolate of any kind or color onto a sheet of acetate or parchment paper. If you use acetate, one side of the chocolate will be shiny. If you use parchment, it won't. I like to tape my acetate to the bottom of a sheet tray so that I can transport it into the freezer more easily. Once your chocolate is matte and you can touch it with your finger, it is ready to cut out using a cookie cutter of any shape you like. Try to not peel up the chocolate when removing the cutter. The thinner your chocolate layer, the easier this will be. When you're finished cutting, place a sheet of parchment on top of your chocolate and weigh it down with something to prevent your shapes from curling. Pop the tray into the freezer for just a couple of minutes to allow the chocolate to finish setting and pull away from the acetate. Once your chocolate's set, carefully peel off all your shapes from the acetate. Technique number 2 is what I like to call the spoon drop. This one is so easy to do, but always comes out looking really nice, I think. All you do is take a bit of melted chocolate with a spoon and drop it onto a piece of parchment paper. Then just swipe the chocolate with the tip of the spoon. You can experiment with the look you like the best by changing up the pressure and angle of the spoon. You can also do multiple swipes to create a different look. And you can also do the same technique by swiping with a fork. With this decoration, you can just leave them sitting at room temperature to set up. Once they're all set up, you can just simply peel them off the parchment paper. Technique number 3 is pipe decorations. These decorations are endless because you can pipe all sorts of shapes and patterns, some simple and some complicated, but I'll just show you some of my favorites. To pipe your melted chocolate, you will need some parchment paper piping bags. To see an in-depth tutorial of how I make these, check out the video in the card above. So, to create these pipe decorations, you will just pipe any pattern or shape that you'd like. If you're a beginner or the pattern is complicated, it can be easy to trace the design with the chocolate. Once you get the hang of it though, you can pipe your designs freehand. I created this piping template with patterns that you can practice. If you're interested in downloading it, just click the link in the description box below. Technique number 4 is what I like to call broken shards. This one is so fun to play around with and get creative because you can come up with endless amounts of patterns and color combinations. The basic idea of this one is that you'll spread chocolate out on parchment, add some piping and maybe some sprinkles, and then let it set up in the fridge for about 5 minutes. Once it's set up, you simply break it into random pieces. You can also take this same technique and reverse the order of it by piping something down on acetate first, then covering it with melted chocolate. Pop this one in the freezer for a couple of minutes until it starts to peel away from the acetate. When you take it off of the acetate and break it up, your pattern will be flat and shiny. All right, this is the last technique, number 5, which I call the crinkled parchment. Another really simple technique with really cool results. For this, You'll just crinkle up some parchment paper, then lay it down flat and spread on your melted chocolate. Place it in the fridge for 5 minutes to set up, then peel it off the parchment and simply break it into pieces. To highlight some of the crinkles and add more depth, it looks really cool to dust it with some metallic powder. I'm going to use bronze. All right, here are all our finished decorations. If you liked all of these ideas, please give the video a like by clicking the thumbs up down below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, today's the day. If you'd like to learn more chocolate things, just click on one of these videos. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you soon. Bye!